Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Today I'm going to be reviewing and comparing what I would consider the best 3 coffees that I had in 2023. You guys know that when I first reviewed these coffees, which by the way you can look back on the channel and take a look at my original review and my thoughts as to those coffees when I first tried them. I have recorded at least 1 but probably 2 or maybe even 3 videos as to each one of these coffees as the year went. As we went through the year, I finally had the idea that maybe I should freeze some of this coffee so that I could compare it at the end of the year and then come up with my favorite of all of the ones that I thought were spectacular. Today, I'm gonna bring them out. We're gonna grind these coffees and try them head to head. Now, the way I'm planning to do this, I'm gonna brew them all with the same grinder and the same brewing method. I'm gonna do them all on the origami. Whatever the best results was that I was able to get out of these coffees, that's how I'm gonna brew them today. So water temperature will be tweaked a little bit, the grind size and the timing a little bit. Although I gotta say the September coffee and the Good Brothers coffee is pretty much identical the way I'm brewing them. The one from Brian Kwan from the Asia Roasting Project, that one is a little bit different. I'm gonna use a little bit cooler water and a little bit coarser grind to get a little bit faster drawdown. But like I said, there are reviews as to all 3 of these coffees on the channel, so check that out. Okay, now my understanding is that the best way to keep coffee long-term is to vacuum seal the coffee and to freeze it. So this is an experiment that has been going on the channel now for quite a while. So today I'm gonna open the Good Brothers coffee, the September coffee and the Asia Roasting Project coffee. They are frozen, and my understanding is to take it right from the freezer and grind it right away. That's how you're gonna get the best results. Supposedly the particle distribution will be a little more accurate, a little bit more uniform if you do it in this manner. A couple of different things are gonna be happening here today in this video. First of all, we're gonna crown the king of the coffees for 2023. What was my favorite for the whole year? And we're also gonna be looking into the frozen coffee, right? Did it keep, does it taste the same like when I tasted it a few months ago? Now the Good Brothers one has been frozen for, I don't know, it's probably been like 6 months now. The September coffee, only about a month. And Brian Kwan's coffee is actually, I just frozen maybe like a couple weeks ago. So yeah, there is different timings. We're gonna see if I can taste any difference. So there's a couple things going on here, right? So hopefully we'll learn something from this video. It'll be somewhat fun, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to making this. Now the way I'm planning to score the 3 coffees is as following. I'm gonna brew it as normal, the way I normally would, and I'm gonna serve it into the cup that I always use and what I really like doing, right? Because that's how I think I'm gonna get the best flavor out of it, because that's how it blew me away the first time, right? So I'm gonna try it just like that and give it a score. Now let's say that I'm planning on starting with the one from the Asia Roasting Project because it's the one that requires a little bit cooler temperature. The Asia Roasting Project I'm gonna brew at 95, the other 2 I'm gonna brew at 98. So now as soon as I taste the coffee, I'm gonna really think about it and give it a score. Now let's say that the first coffee I brew, I score it a 10. It just blows me away, it's perfect. I give it a 10. So then I brew the second coffee. The second coffee, maybe I think, wow, this one's even better. So then I will adjust my score if that happens. Okay, so let's say that the first one I scored at 10, the next one really blows me away. I go, wow, this one's even a little bit better. So what I would do is score that one at 10 and lower the rating for the other one to maybe like a 9.8 or depending on how far apart they are. And that's what I plan to do for all 3 coffees. So I will try it, score it, and then adjust the scoring as I go along to get the first actual score for the 3 coffees. Then after that, I'm gonna put the coffees like I've done before in the little coffee mugs and put it on the stove in hot water. And I'm gonna pause the camera and take about 10 minutes off and let the coffees kind of equalize as far as temperature. I'm gonna take them out of the hot water and label them, and I'm gonna do a blind tasting, and we'll give it another score. And then I will add up the scores, and the one with the highest score is the overall winner. Okay, so there's a chance that when I do the blind tasting, it'll be totally different and they get different scores, and then we'll see what happens, right? It'll be kind of interesting. it's the two scores added together that determines the winner. So I really, I'm really curious in finding out if I'm gonna score it different when it's like blind tasting or when I first try it. I'm really curious as to find out if I'm gonna score them the same. Let's go over to the other counter and do some pour overs. Okay, so here we go. I got Brian's coffee right here. This is the one from the Asia Roasting Project. This is the one I have the least of. I don't remember how many grams I put in here, but I think it was 60. But I'm gonna use 20 right now, so obviously it'll be more than enough to do this comparison. So let's get it opened up. Again, it just came right out of the freezer. Okay, so vacuum sealing and freezing coffee, supposedly the best method. We're gonna find out. Okay, so I do have some little bit of notes here, so I wouldn't forget like the settings of the grinder and my water temperature and all these things. So let me take a quick look at my notes, and we'll start rinsing and getting everything ready. Okay, so Brian's coffee, I'm supposed to grind at 75 clicks. You see the little red dot? 75 clicks. We're gonna dose out the 20 grams and we're gonna brew it at 94 degrees. This is gonna be the coolest one of the three. As far as water temperature. Okay, let's dose out our 20 grams. Okay, 99. Okay, we're exactly at 20 grams, so we'll check retention like we always do. I'm gonna put these later on in one of my containers that I have to keep the coffee, but for now, let me just put it off to the side. Okay, so exactly 20 grams. Again, all of these coffees are light roast, and it's what I enjoy drinking in the mornings as pour over. It's my first time actually grinding it while it's still frozen. Okay, so 75 clicks. Make sure we got everything. Okay, so the water's up to temperature. Let's get everything rinsed out. We're just using regular Hario V60 filters. It's the way I dial these coffees in. So again, I want to just repeat the process as previous just to try to get the same flavors, which, the coffee blew me away. So why would I change anything? I did dial them in though. It was not like the very first try was the best I got from it. There were tweaks and I was able to get it even better. And I wrote it down, and that's what I'm going off of right here. Okay, so we got the origami. Let's give it a rinse and get the paper to stick to the brewer. Okay, that's perfect there. Again, I'm gonna have to edit this in a way that it kind of goes quick for you guys, so it's not, that doesn't get super long and and boring. So. Okay, let's get the hot water into the glass. Okay, that's perfect. Let's put it off to the side here. Now we come in with our 20 grams. I didn't check retention, but okay, I should have, you know what? And before I pour that in, I'm gonna do a little WDT in here just to fluff it up. Okay, it's reading 19.9, but you know, we got the weight of all these things. It could be off by a 0.1 because of that. I am pretty sure that whatever we put in is what we got out. Again, I know retention is not a thing on the K+, but you know, that's how we do it here on this channel. We always checking. Okay, let's flatten it out. Again, it's gonna be the same exact process this far for all the coffees. So I'm not gonna repeat everything. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll show you guys the first one and then the other two, just kind of go through it real quick, do some kind of either time lapse or some kind of just edited where I show very little, so that the video doesn't get super long. Okay, so you guys know how I make the divot in the middle. Let's tear the scale. Oh, on this coffee, by the way, we're trying to get, this one I wanted to brew the fastest. I want to get maybe 4 minutes or just under 4 minutes as to this particular coffee. The other two are gonna brew longer. I'm looking for somewhere around 4.5 to maybe even up to 5 minutes on the other two. That's how I dialed it in, and that's how I got the best flavor. So again, I'm rolling with what I wrote down and the notes that I kept as I was dialing in the coffee. So, okay, so again, we're looking for around 4 minutes or just under 4 minutes. Water at 94, 20 grams in, 300 grams out. And let's start the time. Here we go, 3 pours of 100 grams. So start pouring in the center here in the divot. Just want to get everything saturated evenly and as quickly as possible. Just a nice slow pour. Okay, we're at 100 grams. Well, the coffee's still degassing, so obviously it was it's still fresh. Let me show you guys. You can still see it's got quite a bit of CO2 still left in there. Okay, so that slowed me down just a little bit, but we'll be okay. We're just over a minute. Here goes the second pour. It's still dripping. Now we just go in circles all around. Take it up to 200. Okay, we're at 200 grams. Okay, we have one more pour. We're about halfway with the process here. So as far as timing, I think we are doing okay. We're gonna start the third pour. Wash everything off the sides. It's a little bit hard to see from this angle, but I'll make it work. I'm gonna give it a little swirl there at the end just to get everything saturated properly, get it all nice and flat at the end. First time I do a blind tasting here on the channel, so we'll see how this goes today. You know, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please help us out. We just broke through the halfway point here. we finally got over 500 subscribers. We're trying to reach 1,000 so that we can do some live streaming. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content, you want to get more of it, help me out by subscribing. Okay, here's the final drawdown. Again, you could see there we're just about to hit 4 minutes, and well, it's a little bit dark there. I don't know if you guys could see that. but we got it right at 4 minutes. So as far as timing, it's spot on. I'm gonna take it over to the other counter. We'll serve it, taste it, really think about what's going on here in the cup, and give it a score. And then I'm gonna put it off to the side in the warm water so that I can brew the other 2 coffees. At the end of this whole process, I'll have all 3 in the hot water. Let me show you. I think you guys could see it, but let me show you guys. Here's this is what we've done before, and we put the coffee mugs inside the water there. The stove is on, the water's nice and warm, and it'll hold the coffee at a nice warm temperature. So I have a chance to brew all of them. Then after all 3 are in there, I'll give it like 10 minutes for all the coffees to kind of equalize, and they'll all be at the same temperature. And then I'll give it a second taste and a second score. I'll add up the scores and we'll come up with the winner. All right, so here it is. Let's give it a nice swirl. The first contender, Asia Roasting Project. Oh, I took a picture of the final, what the final bed looked like, so you guys could take a look. But it was really nice and dry. It was not muddy at all. It looked perfect and nice and flat. And as you guys saw, the timing was also perfect. So exactly what we were looking for. This should have the best chance at being at its best. So let's see, let's serve it. Okay, I'm gonna drink about that much on all 3 coffees. Now, the other, whatever I don't drink here, I'm not gonna throw it away. I will put it away. It's too much coffee probably to have all in one shot, but I'll probably put it away and make it as iced coffee later. But anyway, cheers. I hope you guys brew something tasty to go along with me here on this adventure. The best coffee of 2023. What an exciting moment. Here we go. The aroma's still there. It's still there, but I gotta say, all right, let's talk about that. Because I said this coffee had the most wonderful aroma of any coffee I probably ever had. But I have to say, when I ground it just now, I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't paying attention to that. But the very first time, it was so evident that it didn't matter. You just got blown away by the aroma. And now, I still have nice aroma here in the cup after I brewed it. But I gotta say, when I opened it, I didn't get anything out of it. So I don't know if it's because it's frozen. It didn't smell like anything. I don't know. Is that normal? Again, I didn't. Let me get it out. Let me see. Let me find out. We're gonna learn a lot today. There's a lot going on here. Big experiment. I wonder if, like, after it thaws out, maybe it'll get the smell again. I don't know. It's not like super evident. It doesn't blow you away like it did the very first time I opened it. No, there's very little here. Okay, there's very little aroma at all. I don't know if that's normal after you freeze coffee, but it's what happened here. Okay, but in the cup, you still do have a nice aroma, but nowhere near the level of, the very first time I brewed it. Okay, what about the flavor? The flavor spot on. This is what it tasted like. This is when I dialed it in. I made it on the April. By now, yeah, you guys just saw that video. You guys just saw that video where I brewed it on the April. I got a little bit cooler water temperature and I brewed it a little bit faster, and it tasted just like this. I gotta say, this time it was on the origami, but I think I already mentioned in another video that my belief or my theory is that on most drippers, you'll be able to dial things in by tweaking the different elements, the water temperature, the grind size, the different things, the different parameters, to get it kind of to taste pretty much exactly the same. At least to your average consumer, someone like me, I don't think I can taste the difference. Yeah, this is spot on. It's got the sweetness. It's got the hint of citrus. Definitely orange. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a score. Let me pause the video right here. I'm gonna give it a score. I'm gonna finish drinking the last little bit of it, and then I'll meet you guys at the other counter, and either I do a time lapse or just very few little images of what's going on to kind of let you follow the flow of the video here. But definitely I'm not going through like the whole explanation and everything. Okay, the other two coffees I'm gonna brew at 98 degrees. The grind size I'm gonna tweak a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit finer than on this one. The coffee's gonna take longer to brew. On the other two coffees, I'm looking between 4.5 minutes and maybe as high as 5 minutes. So yeah, let me finish this. The rest of it, I'm gonna put off to the side and just keep it warm and brew the next one. I'll see you guys at the other counter. All right, so there you see the end result. I have the ARP coffee warm there. When I brew the Good Brothers, I'll put it in this position. And when I brew the September, off to the side on that position. And I'll have all three. I'll wait like 10 minutes. Okay, so it'll be ARP, Good Brothers, and September. So I can always look back at this video in case I get confused or don't remember. So yeah, I'll wait like 10 minutes and then I'll label the cups and put them on something. I'll spin them, I'll do something because I don't have anybody here to help me out. So I'm gonna do it on my own. But believe me, I thought of something that should work and it'll be a blind tasting. Okay, here's the coffee from Good Brothers. That's the one we're gonna brew next. I already rinsed out the carafe. I have a little bit of the coffee still there. I'm still enjoying it. Okay, so I filled up the kettle again, getting it up to temperature. Let's open up the Good Brothers. Yeah, what I wrote down is quite different. The ARP is at 75 clicks. The Good Brothers is at 55. That's how I got the best flavor out of it. So yeah, we're gonna roll with that. I'm not gonna second guess it. This is what I wrote down. And I remember the coffee blowing me away every single time. So let's roll with it. Okay, so dosing out 20 grams. You know what, maybe this time, and I hate doing this because I don't like wasting anything, but I'm gonna purge the burrs a little bit. I'm gonna drop at least a couple little beans in there. Again, I want this comparison to be at as good as possible. So I'm just gonna grind this over the sink and let it go out. I'm just purging what I ground previously. So once I grind this coffee, it's just this flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, that's a little wasteful, so I never do that. But this one time, for the sake of the comparison, well, I still haven't put the coffee in there. For the sake of the comparison, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, it was only about 3 or 4 beans. Okay, so we're at 55 clicks. Let's make sure we got everything. Okay, so we're right there, 20 grams. Okay, so one thing that I remember is that obviously grinding this fine, the bed at the end doesn't look like the prettiest. I remember that the September and the Good Brothers, when I finished dialing them in, the bed was kind of muddy and stuff because again, it was like really fine coffee. But that's how I got the best flavor. So freezing coffee to preserve flavor, well, so far that's a win. Freezing coffee to preserve the aroma, yeah, that's a no-go. This is the last of it. Sad to see you go, buddy, but this is the last of the ARP. All right, I rinsed the glass. Now, as far as the ARP, acidity, it's not super high, it's not very high, but you do get a little bit of that hint of the citrus note, which I really appreciated. That was very nice, and the coffee's just overall very sweet, smooth, very nice. Okay, let's get the water out of here and put it in the cup. Again, we're just gonna do a little bit of WDT in the little catch cup, because why not? We have the tools, we will use them. Okay, 20 grams of the Good Brothers. And here we go, first 100 grams. Okay, this one's been frozen by far the longest and it's degassing like crazy. Let me show you guys. You can see all the CO2. This one still had a lot of CO2 and the aroma is stronger than the other one because this one I do get it. For sure I'm getting the aroma and the other one I got very little, although when I first brewed that the coffee from ARP, it absolutely blew me away. Wow, I'm already off to some very interesting results here. Okay, pour number 2. Okay, we go to 200 grams. Okay, so I can see the bed of coffee now. I'm gonna go for the third pour. Again, it's brewing kind of fast. Let's go all the way to 300. Okay, 301.5. I'm gonna give it a nice swirl because actually it's brewing a little bit too fast. So this will flatten it out, get a nice drawdown, and hopefully slow it down quite a bit for me because I want to go at least another minute and a half here. Something soothing about watching, I always say it, but something soothing about the setup and watching the coffee brew. Oh, I just noticed I didn't turn on my little sunlight. I didn't put my little background lights. You know what, maybe I'll turn them on right now so you guys can see the difference. This is no lights, right? You'll see in a second. Okay, so that right there is just the blue accent light, which, you know, I'm not even seeing it on the phone right now, but all right, and here's this little sunlight. Yeah, that one's definitely making a difference. I think the thing is that since I have the stove running, I have the blue light more off to the side today, and that's why you could see it less, but you could see it a little bit. You could see it a little bit here, little highlight on the carafe. Okay, so we got the final drawdown. Again, it finished in 4.5 minutes. So, you know, towards the bottom end of what I was looking for, but this should be good enough. As far as aroma, definitely getting a lot more from this coffee, so you don't lose all of the aroma. Maybe you lose some. I'll take a picture of what the bed looks like so you guys can take a look. I'll rinse everything out, meet you guys at the other counter. We'll give it a taste test and I'll give it a score. Give me a second. All right, so here we go with the Good Brothers. Again, as of now, until this comparison ends, this is the champion. So we'll see if something can dethrone this. Now, this is a Costa Rican. I talked about it a whole bunch, but it has the thermical fermentation. So it's a processing method that just elevated this coffee for me to perfection. It's just everything I'm looking for in a cup of coffee is right here. So let's see how it tastes today after it's been frozen for months. It definitely gave me more aroma as I brewed it than the ARP. I don't know why, because the ARP, when I opened the bag, it absolutely blew me away and it had the most aroma of any coffee I've ever tried. So again, when it was fresh in the bag, I had just received it. This has complete, I'm gonna do a blind tasting, but there's no way that I can confuse this coffee with the other one. There's no way. It doesn't matter blind tasting, no blind tasting. This smells completely different. It's got like that funky stuff going on, like a lot of flavor, kind of weirdness. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm excited just thinking about it. Okay. All right, here we go. But yeah, this one definitely you get the aroma. So you don't lose the aroma from freezing. I don't know what that maybe it's because it's just so different. The ARP coffee, you guys don't understand. It blew me away with the aroma, and now it's like completely lacking, like nothing like what I remembered. This still has some like really funkiness going on, and I love it. I gotta say, I love it. There's no way I could confuse this with the other one. Okay, wow. This is all right. Just like berries, like a lot of fruitiness, sweetness, Still has the acidity up front, and then it just rounds off right away. You get that hit of acidity, but then it rounds off really quickly right away and just goes into sweetness. The whole time you're getting all these flavors. This to me is just perfect. I have to say, it's awesome. I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna put it off to the side. We'll still do the blind tasting, but I don't know if you, from my expression, I don't know if you can kind of see what's going on here, but all right, enough said. Let's put it away with the other one. I'll meet you guys at the other counter and we'll do Kyle's coffee. We'll see what happens with September. Okay, so I'm getting all set up for the next brew. I'm finishing up the coffee there. The kettle's full again. Water temperature is gonna be the same. I gotta check again on the grind size. I'll set it in a second, but I already purged the grinder. I did the same thing, put 4 beans in there, ground them, and just purged it a little bit. So now we have the 2 cups here. The next one's gonna go there, then I'll wait 10 minutes. All right, let's grind some coffee and do the last brew. Okay, as far as the aroma before grinding it, yeah, not much, not a lot. Okay, as far as timing, I'm looking for something pretty much the same like the Good Brothers, somewhere between 4.5 and 5 minutes, but it is a little bit coarser grind. The Good Brothers was at 55, this one's at 60 clicks. Wow, okay, maybe this is the lightest of all 3 rows because right away you could see the difference. I'm really having to fight with the beans. If you guys watched when I first reviewed it, and I looked at the roast level, I did say that this coffee is quite light. And it is, you could tell from grinding it. All right, exactly, we got the 20 grams. I'll take the water from here, putting it in the cup. Okay, start the time. Here we go. Now, I don't get it. The Brian's coffee, the ARP coffee was frozen the least amount of time, and it seems to have lost the most. You know, on the aroma, it lost a whole bunch. Look at this one. This one also is degassing a lot more. There's a lot of CO2 coming out. Interesting results. Both of these coffees had some kind of processing, and the ARP coffee is just washed. And you know, you could see it. You could see it is a lot more cleaner. And if that's what you gravitate to, then that would be your favorite. So, okay, I don't want to fall behind here on my pouring. We go with the second pour. We're gonna take it straight to 200 grams. Little more. There we go. After the second pour, still degassing. There is aroma, you can see it, you know. I'm getting it. And the one from ARP, wow, I'm really perplexed about this one. I don't get it. That one's been frozen way less than the other. Well, a lot less than the Good Brothers, way less than the Good Brothers. And maybe like a month less than the September coffee. So, interesting. I was not expecting that. Okay, so the drawdown time is pretty much the same thing we got from the Good Brothers, and that's what I was expecting. So when I dial these things in and I wrote down my parameters, I think I did a good job because I'm being able to repeat this process pretty much exactly the same. I'm getting exactly what I was looking for is what I'm getting. Okay, here we go with the third pour. I'm gonna give it one swirl here at the end to flatten it out. Maybe slow it down a little bit on the final drawdown. Again, if you guys have been watching all the videos, you see how, you know, one of the things I like about the Steadfast is that I don't have to like adjust it so much. It's just, obviously it just sits flat on there. It's one of the things I enjoy about it, but I'm still really into that brewer. I'm really enjoying it. You know, I think definitely the origami is more versatile. You can use a cone, you can use a flat bottom. It's faster than the Steadfast. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun to just have both, like I gotta say. It really is. Okay, final drawdown. We're getting to the 4 minutes. I can start to see the top of the bed there. And, well, definitely brewed a little bit faster than Good Brothers, Good Brothers was 4.5 minutes. I'm gonna call this one at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So, you know, I wish I would have gotten a little bit longer brew time, but being that the water's really hot and it's roughly, we're about, 20 seconds short maybe. So let's see. It is what it is, So let's go to the other counter. Let me get everything ready. I'll meet you guys at the other side, and then we'll taste this one. All right, here's the last one, September. Now, being that I served exactly the same amount into the cups here, the amount on the other cups is exactly the same. So there's no way I could tell like any kind of difference from the amount of liquid in the cups. The cups are exactly the same. You'll see. We'll get to the blind tasting in a minute, but right away, like, I don't even need to taste it. I know this is the plum one. Wow. I really like this one. Okay, let me taste it. There it is. Definitely. There's no doubt this is the plum one. It's easier to confuse this one and the Good Brothers, but the ARP coffee is so different that there's no confusing it. It's just a very clean, it's just a wash coffee. There's none of this funkiness, kind of a little bit of weirdness going on. And some people don't like that. I understand that. To each their own, right? But to me, this is a lot more exciting and interesting than just like a regular cup of coffee. And I really love the depth of flavor. I like the sweetness. It's not like something that overwhelms you with like acidity or, you do get the acidity, but then again, just like the Good Brothers, it smooths out. It's very smooth, and then you get that depth of flavor from all the different stuff going on in here, the fruitiness, the juiciness. This is very juicy. You can tell the difference between this one and the Good Brothers. I think I'll be able to tell them apart, but definitely I could see where someone could confuse the two because of the funkiness going on and the stuff. In that sense, they're kind of similar. The smell's completely different. This one just has a juiciness to it. I just keep going. That's what I get from it. The plum definitely is there. So, all right, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this. Wait the 10 minutes out, and I'll meet you guys in a second here. For you guys, it'll just be a second. Then we'll do the blind tasting. I'll give it another score. All right, friends. So I got all the 3 coffees here next to me. I labeled them. So there's a little label on the bottom as to what each one is, although I think I could easily pick them out, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to turn around. Now the camera might freak out and lose focus while I'm doing this because I have it on eye detect, and when I turn around, obviously it won't find my eyes. Maybe it freaks out, but hang on tight. The main thing is that you see that I'm spinning these things and I'm turned around, so there's no way I'm gonna know what's what. So here we go. Okay, then just to be sure, I'm gonna give it one last little spin all around. Now I have no clue what's what. Okay, I spun it around enough that I have no idea. So let's see if we can figure out what these coffees are. Give it another score, then we'll add up the 2 scores and see who wins. Best coffee of 2023. This is pretty exciting. All right, here we go. Whatever. This is the closest one to me. We'll start with this one. Now, right from the aroma, I would say this is Good Brothers without even tasting it, but let's see. This is Good Brothers. You can't fake me. I can, that funkiness going on, but it's not the plum. So I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say this is Good Brothers. All right, let's see. Let's go with the next one. All right, let's see what this bad boy brings me. You know, not too much aroma, so I'm gonna say this is ARP. Let's see. Yeah, very clean. Little hint of citrus. This has gotta be ARP. To some, this would be the best one. It just, you know, this is very particular to the flavors that you enjoy and what you're looking for in the cup. It could be different for everyone. So, all right, let's see what this bad boy has to offer. There it is. You get that plum. I'm telling you, this has gotta be September. No doubt about it that this is September. This is the easiest one to pick out because of that plum. But now okay, to me it's pretty obvious just from my first go around here that ARP is an awesome coffee. And to some people, it would be the best one for sure. Because it's clean, it's the one more, you know, most coffee-like. It's not some funkiness and some weirdness going on, okay? But I'm really into the weirdness, so what can I say? All right, so I'm gonna say this is the ARP. Let me take a look. Absolutely. I mean, I can't turn it around. I don't know, and the camera's not gonna focus on it, but this is ARP. After I finish it, I'll show you guys, or I'll do something. But I'm gonna put ARP off to the left. Okay, so it's gonna be the one off to the left. ARP, okay. And I said this was Good Brothers. I don't even need, you know, just from the smell, you could tell. This is Good Brothers. It is. It is. So it's the one in the middle. September is off to the right. So now we know this is September. It's the only one left. It's the most, the more that is like a juice. Okay, so if you're a person that really enjoys juice, this one would win for you. If you want just the coffee flavor, the cleanest presentation, a little citrus notes, nice acidity, but rounded with sweetness, ARP would be your favorite. If you want the one with the most going on, the most highs and lows, the most funkiness, the Good Brothers. You know? Okay. All right, I'm gonna go just in between these two. For me, I'm gonna give this one a score. Give me a second. Okay, so that one, ARP has its 2 scores. Now it's between these two bad boys. You know, I was letting this cool. I actually waited longer than 15 minutes. It took like 20 minutes. But somebody left me a real nice comment on a video right now. The video where I lubricated the brew cam lever on the Bianca. On that video, somebody left me a comment saying that was the most thorough, like best explanation, by far like the best video on YouTube as to how to lubricate the cam lever. And that's nice. Thank you. If you're watching this video, thank you so much for the comment. It made my day. Anyway, okay, let's keep going here. Now it's between these two. Man, even the scent is just so different. Yeah, you don't need to taste it. You really don't. You really do not need to. You don't need to taste it. The plum just comes out of this like in spades. This one's just a lot more funkiness, but like sweet smell, like cookies. Maybe oatmeal raisin cookies. The flavor's more berry-like, more grapes. Okay, like grapes is what I get here. This is definitely plum. Wow, it's super hard to decide between these two coffees. I'm gonna still give the edge to the Good Brothers, just for the little extra funkiness. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still gonna say this is still my favorite, but wow, this is so close, so close. Let me give them the final score, then we'll talk about just the score. Okay, you know what? Nothing The Good Brothers got a perfect 10 for me, because that's what I said about that coffee. It's just, it really is. It's just like a perfect 10 for me. And September's a 9.9. It is so close. It's so close. I always tell you guys the same thing, right? It's like, maybe your favorite food is pizza, like mine. Okay, I love eating pizza, but it doesn't mean I want it every day. There's gonna be days where I'm gonna want this. I want something just more plain, cleaner. Sometimes this will be the go-to. Also, you get that little citrus note. It's the only one that gives you that from the three. Sometimes the juiciness of this coffee, the September coffee, the juiciness, and just that plum, sometimes that is what you want, And then sometimes it's just pizza, man. You love it, you gotta have it. It's a perfect 10. Why not? That's what I gotta say about this. I'm gonna enjoy the last of these cups here. I'm gonna put away, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna I said I was gonna put away some of it for iced coffee, but I see myself drinking all of this right now. And then right after this, I'm gonna go head out to the gym. It's super late for me to go to the gym at this time, but today it's gonna have to be after this, because I really wanted to record this video. I didn't want to get, sometimes I come back from the gym a little bit too tired to get into this process. This has been the most difficult to record video that I've done so far as far as all these coffee videos. With the exception of one, which I said we would talk about it. Maybe the next video I will record, it's gonna be called something like channel updates, and I don't know. Well, I'll think of a title, but I think the next one is gonna be the one where I'm just gonna get into talking to you guys about some of the stuff that's been going on, the new camera, and then something that happened the other day, which was like the final straw and that broke the camel's back. And we'll talk about all of that maybe on the next video. But for now, I don't want this to get like super, super long. I'm gonna have to, it was a difficult video to record. There was a lot going on, a lot of clips. There's a lot going on. Even to set up everything, today it took me like extra long. There was a couple ideas I played with that I didn't even end up using them, but I kind of played around with that. I filmed a lot of like, even my thumbnail, the cinematic that I filmed, that I, you're watching the video. You saw if I used it, if I did something interesting with that. You know how I always do that little transition and I go into a little cinematic clip before I start brewing. I imagine I did it on this video because I went the extra mile. It took me kind of long to film all of that, and the angles and all the stuff I did. I'm learning the new camera, so the settings, all of that took me quite long. If you hung out with me here until the end of this video, I really appreciate you. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please join us here. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so we could go live, do some live videos for you guys. Please give the video a thumbs up. This was my favorite coffee of 2023. All three are excellent. All three, depending on who you ask, they're gonna come up with a different answer. All three roasters, check them out. Okay, Good Brothers, you guys know I'm always ordering from Good Brothers. I love their stuff. September, I would definitely revisit them because, wow, all three coffees that I ordered from them were spectacular. This one being, the red plum one being the standout. ARP, I haven't recorded the video just yet, but I have another coffee from ARP here. I think it's, as a matter of fact, I think it's the same coffee, but a different roaster. And that's one of the interesting, if you guys haven't seen my whole video that I did as to the Asia Roasting Project and Brian Kwan's project, check it out. I should have one or two videos already up. I think 2 videos up on the channel talking about his whole thing. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting what he's got going on, and I wish him the best of luck with all of that. And I have another coffee to try, and we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll brew it on the next. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. The next video that I record, maybe we'll talk about that other coffee I received from Brian, and some channel updates. We'll talk about the camera and all that good stuff. So join us here. There's a lot more to come. We'll see what 2024 has to offer. I'll definitely freeze the best coffees that I run into throughout the year. I'll freeze some of it and we'll revisit them. So I guess in January of 2025, we'll be talking about the best coffees of 2024. So that'll be kind of cool. This year, I didn't think of that idea until like halfway through the year. You know, it was like around, I don't know, maybe around June, July that I thought of that. And, you know, then I started freezing some of the coffees. There could have been another 2 or 3 up here with these because we had a lot of good coffee this year, I gotta say. But it is what it is. Now, I have lots of this Good Brothers coffee frozen still because I didn't think I was gonna run into a contender this quickly. And I didn't have this idea about doing this head-to-heads. I'm glad I bought a lot of it. It's frozen. So for the next few years, if this one still reigns supreme, we'll be comparing other coffees to it and we'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me here. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for spending the time with me. You guys are awesome. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next Sunday morning.